Hey guys, this is just a quick video on Nashville notation, and you'll notice the first thing I'm filming this video from this perspective because this is actually what I see when I look down at the guitar. So I'm just seeing if this helps you at all to see the neck from this perspective, as opposed to most tutorial videos. You're actually looking, across at the person, which is the mirror image. So it's actually backwards of what you'll be doing. So anyhow, I'm just going to see if this helps you, recognize the formations of stuff. But anyhow, something I should explain as well is just that when I refer to the concept of Nashville notation, all that means is just you're taking each note of the major scale and giving it a number. So in this video, I'm just going to show you, a little bit of the basic definition of Nashville notation, and then the fact that those numbers correspond to each chord, and a little bit of how I use that in a song. So first things first, we're capoed on the 3rd fret, which means that for a G chord, it's a G voicing, but it's the key of B flat. And if you were going to do the major scale from this B flat note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's all that the major scale, this Nashville notation thing really is just giving a number to each position instead of your normal do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just taking each of those positions where the number 1, and then forming a chord around that number 1. So in this key, G would be your root chord, so G would be the 1. If you were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, the C is the 4 chord. And then if you were going to go up to the 5 position, that's your D chord, and you just wind up playing this open D string as your 5. So that's your typical 1-4-5. Whenever you hear people say that, that's kind of like I always think of that as well, any song that's just your straight. So that's Louie Louie, Sweet Home Alabama, and a bunch of others could fit into that 1-4-5 progression. Adding, those are the 3 chords that you will use 90% of the time. A song includes those. Now we're going to talk about what's called your relative minors. But the first relative minor we're going to introduce is the 6th chord. So far we have 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. In chords, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. Your 6th chord would be your E minor in the family of G, and I just leave that cool little ring finger and pinky there because they blend so nice. So if you were to count up in the scale, it would be that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which you'll see where now that fits in the root, and then that open E string forms your E minor. Your other relative minor is what's called the 2 chord, which would be your A minor, which you could play like this. Let me try to move so you can see it. But I think a sweeter blend for that A minor chord happens if you take off your ring finger and put your pinky in that G position. So that's just kind of a sweeter A minor chord that I like to use a lot. So going back through those, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1, and now let's do those relative minors, 6 and 2, 6, 2, 1. The other chord I use a lot all the time, it would be the equivalent of the 3 chord, but it's really the 1 over the 3, 3, 4. So I'll do that again. That's what I would call like a 1 over the 3, and then 4. Sometimes I just refer to it as the 3 just to be lazy. But here's 1 over the 3, 4. You'll notice that's the start of songs like Here Is Our King by David Crowder Band, and actually that's in this key as well. Here is our King, here is our love, here is our God who's come to bring us back to Him. So anyhow, those are the chords I use all the time, and those are kind of the numbers that go with it. From here, it's just kind of hearing, where a song goes and fitting into that family. But 90% of what you hear on the radio abides by those rules of those 6 chords. And there might be a few variations, but we will cover those at a later time. Thanks.